who's the hottest-rapper.com. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, basically, it's a website that I initially launched to promote my music. Initially, that was the intent, was to actually try to sell beats, and I started the website back in like 2005. It actually became an official company in the early part of 2006, and we've been running it very, very successfully since then. But initially, what the whole goal was to sell beats by bringing in rap artists that were that were involved in our content. So we ran a lot of content in the beginning, and but what ended up happening was at that time I was working with a lot of different artists, producing music for a lot of different artists, and the website kind of changed and developed and grew into something more than just hip hop. It's a lot of after I started licensing music, a lot of different types of bands and artists started to approach me for the various services that I had, and of course the background that I had. They were interested in licensing their music, actually interested in trying to secure licensing deals where, just to break it down for you, the licensing side of it, I know we're going to probably talk a little bit about that, but the licensing side of it is very different than, you say, selling a CD outright to a consumer. Say, for instance, you have a CD that has 10 songs on the CD. You're going to sell that CD for probably $10. We're just using some round figures. You get maybe $6 out of that CD for those 10 songs. Basically, 99 cents a download equals to about dollars. You'll get 60 cents pretty much out of that. The aggregator or whoever is actually handling the downloads will actually take the other part of that money, and that's their fee for actually offering you that service. With licensing music, it can go a number of ways. I've licensed music for as little as 99 cents. I've licensed music as for just in a non-expensive situation, all the way up to $3,500. Okay, for just one track and not giving up your rights, non-exclusive. So basically, that track that I licensed for $3,500, I can turn around and license it again for another $3,500 or another $35 if I choose to. Basically, it's a supply and demand type business. And that's basically how the website has actually developed. Not only do we deal with licensing side of it, the music business, we actually deal with a lot of record labels, A&Rs, music publishers, music supervisors, music editors, different types of management companies, indie record labels, individual artists, from all genres of music. We have artists that we sign ourselves to our publishing company, which is a whole nother piece of the game. But realistically, we're in the music business, not necessarily the record business. We sell records. We had an artist, actually, I don't know if y'all heard about the new Tank album, but Tank just put out a new album yesterday, and one of the artists that we actually have signed to our publishing company had a track placed on that album. So it's a single, wow, I have to look it up and see exactly what the name of the single is. But the single is featuring Chris Brown.
Wow.
I heard that they leaked it out. He got paid like $10,000 for the track, right? But they leaked it, and I heard, of course, it's a nice song. Say it that way. But
hey, believe it or not, I'm actually spinning that record.
Is that so?
Yeah, I'm actually spinning that record right now.
Hey, that's nice. That's great. Yeah. Okay. So I'll definitely let the producer know he's getting a lot of play out there. Out that way.
Yeah, from Dallas to the Shy, it's being heard. And that's cold, man. You know what I'm saying? One of these days, we're going to have to sit down and do a show. Why do they leak music like that? Why do they do these different things? You know what I'm saying? So what you're saying is, in a nutshell, is that there are other ways to make music besides saying, hey, I want to rap, or I want to sing, or I want to start a rock band, or whatever the case may be, and put a project out there and hope that we sell billions of copies of it. So one thing I want to get into before we get towards the end of our segment here, we got about 5 minutes left in this segment, which is definitely going to have to bring you back on, you know what I'm saying, and have you on for a longer length of time to talk more about the music licensing business. But initially, with what you have going on, tell the people some of the brands that you have worked with. I remember one time we was talking on the phone and you said, hey, man, I used to post my BMI and ASCAP checks online until somebody came knocking at my door. So we want to let the people in the world know that this is not, you know, just Rudy Poot, rinky-dink music license placing here. Tell the people some of the brands you work with.
Okay, I've actually placed music with pretty much every major brand you can possibly think of. This year alone, I've had over 120 different placements with brands like MTV, VH1, Google licensed some tracks from me, Time Magazine. Wow, you know, I can go down the list of artists. I mean, you know, we have music with behind 50 Cent, Ludacris, T-Pain, Mos Def, Q-Tip. We had some music in the Cribs episode of Carmelo Anthony. Some music behind Rick Ross, Bow Wow, Eddie Griffin, Flo Rida, Mike Jones, Eminem, Chris Brown, Cameron, Redman, Robert De Niro, Rihanna, Gene Simmons, Brooke Hogan, Luther Campbell, Ron Artest, Steven Seagal, Floyd Mayweather, Morley Silver.
Hold up 1 second,
that boy got a resume, man.
Did you just say Steven Seagal?
Yeah, Steven Seagal got a show. He does a show out in New Orleans. He's a police officer. People don't really know that, but he's really he's like the sheriff in one of the parishes out in New Orleans.
And believe it or not, that show is actually pretty good. I'll be watching.
That's right. You know what I'm saying? I had a track placed on one of the shows, which actually paid okay. You know, it's not like it's going to pay you and get you rich, but the object of the game is the more you get, the more money you're going to make, basically. You know, so, yeah, but I mean, you know, as far as brands and stuff like that goes, I mean, it's a ridiculous situation. I'm continuously picking up more stuff. So, like, really, I say I have over 120, but I'm going to end up with probably close by the end of this year, because I'm still licensing stuff. This part of the music business does not shut down like record labels shut down like right around the holidays. They probably ain't going to sign no more artists. You won't see anything happen until probably like the end of January or something. The labels will pick back up. But the licensing part of the business, I mean, you think about all the television shows that you watch, every toy, children's toy that you could possibly think of that has some music playing in it. You think about greeting cards from Hallmark. Think about wherever you possibly can hear some music in a store, like like when you walk into the mall and you hear music playing in the background when you're going to get your, you're going to get your Air Jordans or you're going to get whatever it is that you're going to get. You understand? It's the music playing in the background. That's money too. Artists get paid for that. It's an in-store type situation. So I'm licensing my music in all those different types of formats, and it's actually I'm getting paid from MySpace. I'm getting paid from YouTube, royalty checks on my BMI statements, and as well as my ASCAP publishing company. I publish artists through ASCAP. I have a publishing company with ASCAP and a publishing company with BMI, and I'm a writer with BMI. You can only be a writer with one of them at one time. You can be a publisher with as many of them as you possibly can affiliate yourself with. Right now I'm in negotiations with a major company in Italy to license my catalog, which includes all of the artists that I have under my publishing company, and we're doing a catalog deal basically where they're going to pay us $75,000 or so, something decent up front, between $50,000 to $75,000 up front to basically license our music in that territory and be exclusive in that territory only to them. one of the companies I'm affiliated with that I already have music is already in that catalog, but I'm taking some of my stuff and putting it separate, doing a whole other deal. But there's so many different ways to make money off of music. Most people are so caught up in the I need to get a record deal thing, and that's just not what's happening right now. The best deal you can get, I mean, even Nicki Minaj right now, she's under a 360 deal, and that 360 deal is not like the business. It's really not, because
not at all.
Let's say for instance, when she gets done and the record label is done with her or whatever, however it goes down, and she doesn't, they decide they don't want her on the label anymore. When she leaves, they're still going to get a portion of her merchandising, her video sales, whatever, her DVD sales, album sales, even her concerts. When she go to perform, those particular songs that she has they got to get a part of that money when she goes to perform. Even if she's not signed to them anymore.
And to add to that, like when I was first on the show, you guys were asking me what was Tum Tum up to, what was he doing? Like that's why I was telling you, like Tum Tum's not looking to have CD sales out here. He's looking to have his songs played in movies and in TV shows, because every time one of those movies either gets played on TV or the DVD gets sold, he gets a check.
That's exactly right.
Yep. Wow. Well, Ham Rothstein, my chat room is going ridiculously crazy. I mean, I'm getting responses like, Cam, your question. Go ahead and ask your question with Charlie Mack. I think it's going to answer everybody's questions out there in chat room land.
All right, what's up with it, man? Hey,
how you doing?
What advice? I'm cool. What advice do you have for inspiring artists out there that's trying to get up in the game or into the industry?
The first thing I would say, it's a few things I would say, but the first thing I would say is not to ever give up. Because a lot of times, it's just like running a race. You got to cross the finish line. So if you don't get discouraged and say, I ain't going to never do this, then if that's what you say, that's what's going to happen. So I would just say, first off, don't get discouraged. Don't ever give up. The second thing I would say is make sure that you invest as much into your music, the quality of your music, as you do invest into the content of what your music is. When you're doing music, your music needs to sound and represent you from that perspective. So I wouldn't say necessarily don't put out something that sounds mediocre, but I would definitely say don't put out something that's going to actually damage your reputation or damage your opportunities for the future. A lot of times you only get that one shot. There's many artists. I get submissions all the time from all over the world, from all different types of places that you could possibly imagine. And the one thing that I find the most disturbing is that people will spend a lot of money to go to the studio, but then they'll have bad production or they'll have bad recordings. They'll take a mixtape type track, 2 tracks, into the studio, record their vocals over it, and then try to present that as something as a finished product, and get turned completely away because it's not quality. And most of the things that you're going to run across nowadays, I mean, it's too simple. You can record on a laptop and get better quality than they could like 5-10 years ago. You can get the best quality. You don't even necessarily need a recording booth. You can do it in a closet. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's the technology nowadays, there's no excuse for you not to have a great recording. The only thing that I can actually say is that, yeah, maybe someone may not have necessarily the experience to produce or record a great quality piece of music, but you should go where you can actually get that. If you have to pay a few extra dollars to get you a very, very good recording, then that's what you need to do, because you're going to waste a lot more money sending out something that's less than professional. You'll get turned away every time. And a lot of times artists are, like, I get a lot of dope artists too. I mean, they're nice, some very nice artists, but, I can't do anything with it if it's not quality. I can't take that and send that to the people that I deal with, say over at a like Def Jam or something, or over at Atlantic Records. I can't send music to these people because they're going to look at me and then now I'm suspect. They won't even take what I send now. Because I decided I wanted to send something that wasn't right, you know? So it's not necessarily a personal thing. That's the other thing is never take it personal. Never take it personal. People